Subscapers! My favorite boss to AFK is Arch-Glacor. Now you might be wondering yourself, but why Arch-Glacor? Well, first of all, in terms of charms, Arch-Glacor is amazing, especially for blue and crimson charms. Arch-Glacor is probably very high up the top in terms of obtaining crimson and blue charms. It's also a pretty good spot in order to get your elite glue scrolls. And the trash loot is definitely decent. It's not the best, but it's decent enough, especially for something that is AFK. And that is exactly what I'm going to show you today, how to AFK Arch-Glacor with Melee. But before we start off, thank you so much for all the support I've been getting so far. It has been absolutely amazing, guys. Thank you so much. I've already reached the goal that I set for end of August, which was 250 subscribers. So it would be amazing if we could double that to 500 subscribers. So if you like this content, feel free to subscribe. But with that out of the way, let's get into the guide. So first of all, we're going to talk about the gear. Now keep in mind, the gear that I'm going to show is pretty high-end gear. You can downgrade, but just know for everything that you have to downgrade in, it will affect your kills per hour. You probably will still be able to AFK it, but your kills per hour will probably be a bit less. So for the gear, we will be using a Havoc Vestments hood, top, bottom, and boots. And you specifically want a 2-set bonus because of the regeneration of adrenaline after casting a melee ultimate ability, which we will be doing. We're going to use the Abyssal Scourge, mainly for the bleed passive, and we're going to use the Dark Ice Sliver offhand, or Dark Sliver of Lang, obviously, for the Frostblade passive. We're going to use the Champion's Ring and Imbued if possible. We're going to use the Amulet of Souls or the Essence of Finality for the healing passive, the Grasping Rune Pouch just for some prayer bonus, the Zuck Melee Cape or Hard Mode Zuck Cape, and the Scripture of Full. I've seen a lot of people swapping this for the Scripture of Big to get more clues, but that's 100% up to you. And last but definitely not least, Cinderbane Gloves, because Arch-Glacor is poisonable. Now onto the inventory, we are going to use a Blood Reaver pouch, we're going to use the Potion Reservoir with overloads in it. We're going to use the Penance Powder for the upkeep of our prayer potions. We're going to combine this with the Penance Aura as well, by the way. We're going to use Super Restore Flasks if you don't take enough damage. So for the first trip, I would bring some Super Restore Flasks to see if you do take enough damage so you can sustain it with Penance Powder and Aura. If not, bring the Super Restore Flasks. We're going to use Quarm and Lantadime Incense Sticks. The Quarm Incense Sticks for the increased poison damage and the Lantadime for the increased potion timers. I'm going to use Elder Overload Salves, a weapon poison plus flask, because Arch-Glacor is poisonable. I'm going to bring the Enhanced Excalibur. You shouldn't really need it, but it's just a nice to have. The Ancient Elven Ritual Shard for, again, if you don't take enough damage. The Holy Wrench and the Spring Cleaner. Now onto the ability bar. Make sure you use this order. So first of all, we got Chaos Roar, then we have Overpower, Blood Tendrils, Assault, Destroy, Greater Flurry, and Punish. As you can see, I also have my Enhanced Excalibur and my Ancient Elven Ritual Shard on my ability bar. You don't really need this, but it's just a convenience for me. If you, for example, wouldn't have Chaos Roar, that's no problem. Just remove Chaos Roar and move everything to the left. Also, first of all, make sure that your combat mode is on Revolution. Change the combat size to 7 because we're going to use 7 abilities and automatically trigger all the attacks. So the basic, the threshold, and the ultimate abilities. Make sure they are all checked. For the relics, we're going to use the Conservation of Energy relic because, again, we're going to be using the ultimate abilities and that will give us some adrenaline back. We're going to use Fury of the Small because, again, we need a lot of adrenaline. And we're going to use Persistent Rage, so in between the fights, we automatically regen adrenaline as well. For prayer, we're going to use Soul Split and Malevolence, or Anguish if you don't have Malevolence. And as mentioned before, for the aura, we're going to use the Penance Aura, so any damage taken will result in some prayer. For the mode, we're going to use normal mode with no boss mechanics. To get there, you can use the boss portal, which, you know, I am going to use, but you do need 10 kills for that. If you do not have 10 kills yet, you can always teleport to the Temple of Sandenston and then go to the Glacor front and he'll be right over there. Now, before we go in, you want to make sure that you activate every single thing that you have. So you want to drink your overload, your weapon poison plus. You want to activate your scriptural full, your penance aura. Just activate everything. Go in. Make sure auto retaliate is on. And have fun. Doing this specific method, I had around 80 to 90 kills per hour. But keep in mind, this is with this specific setup. So if you had to change something, your kills per hour will probably vary. For me, this was super AFK, but you might want to check in every now and then if your prayer is still up, if your HP is still up. Shouldn't be too much of an issue with my setup, but just make sure to check in every now and then. So I really do hope you enjoyed this video, and if it helped you, feel free to give it a like and subscribe, because that's the only way I know that you guys are really enjoying this. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye for now.